basically went to Staten Island Community College, which is where I met Ann. And probably one of the first jobs I had was working for the Staten Island Register. And got a lot of experience because I just kept shooting and kept trying to refine my printing technique so that...
Did you take courses?
No, self-taught. Part of the 1977 Save New York rally, and everyone came with signs. I mean, I never saw so many signs in my life, and there were thousands and thousands of people. I started shooting probably seriously in '74, and that was working for the Register. And I also did a lot of portrait work. I started, Ann actually was one of my first models, and I was assigned various things to shoot. And after I would go wherever I was going, whether to shoot Joe Bishop's blacksmith shop or to shoot, whatever I was asked to shoot, I would just stay out and keep shooting. Probably one of the first photographs I shot for the Staten Island Register, and people were complaining because there were a lot of accidents. This is the corner of Clove Road and Richmond Road. This was the old Johnston Mansion, which became Daytop Village. This was one of my favorite photographs, and this was the Tidewater Inn near the Tottenville train station, and it was owned by George Burke, who owns the Seguin Mansion. This is the 1903 McAlpin Hotel bar that he acquired, and unfortunately this burned down a couple of years later. Mount Loretto burnt down the church, and they were reconstructing it, and I guess that would have been in around 1976. I went down to the train and I saw this shot, and I just couldn't resist it. I call it Last Train from Tottenville. I printed all my work myself by studying Ansel Adams and Minor White and some of those guys, particularly Minor White, because he had a whole system, the zone system and all of that, and I tried to follow some of that. But a lot of it was just shot from the hip. Okay, these two officers were on patrol and they were parked, and the illumination from inside the patrol car was just so interesting, and it just illuminated them so well. I was observing this man for a long time, and somebody played, I think, one of the, like the Star Spangled Banner or something. And if you look closely, you could see the tear in his eye. He was actually crying. These guys were so photogenic, and they loved being photographed. And they were the last two snugs before they were transported to North Carolina. Well, almost everyone remembers Clove Lake Stables. And the one day that I showed up, in particular, he was involved in a shoot for a low-budget Western, I think. Hey, well, one day I stopped at the Lane Theater. The projectionist was there. And this happened to be an outdoor Caribbean festival. And she was just so photogenic. This I like because it just says something about a time and a place. But this was the one I liked the best. This is such an icon of a time and a place on Highland Boulevard, but at the time this was called the Ding Dong Dairy. The idea was to get a reference black in a photograph, and then everything else would follow, and so I spent thousands of hours in the darkroom. I really did.